And we are back, Videoguys Live. Tuesdays at 3 p.m. we're going to talk to you about video technology. That's video technology having to do with production, post-production, editing, storage, you name it. If you're producing video content, we've got shows all about it. Please sign up for our YouTube and our Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Check out our blogs. Our blogs have tons of articles from all over the place. Today's show, BirdDog's Next Generation. Now with bundles, upgrades, and the cloud. And we're going to start with bundles because it's super exciting. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, BirdDog at the height of the pandemic came out with some really cool bundles with their P200 camera, and you bought 3 cameras and you got a keyboard. Well, they have taken those bundles and they built them around this puppy, the P240, which is just a tremendous value of a camcorder for $3,000. It's a phenomenal HD camera with a 40x zoom. We really love it. It is a phenomenal product. And we're going to talk about these bundles right now. One of the things that's very cool about this product, too, is it supports all forms of HD, NDI. It's got SDI and HDMI, USB, and network jacks on the back. First bundle, the Treat Yourself. You get 3 BirdDog P240 PTZ cameras valued at $29.99 each, and the Netgear Switch. We love this switch. As you know, we've done numerous shows. It's won a top 10 award. Netgear switches are our #1 NDI solution. If you're going to build an NDI studio network production facility with 3 or more cameras, if you put a Netgear Pro switch, you're going to have a much better time. Why did we pick this switch? Why did the folks at BirdDog pick this switch? Well, they wanted a switch that had enough PoE power to be able to drive 3 P240s plus have room for more stuff. So this is the switch. It's a go-to switch. We really love this model. $11.99 value. As you can see, all this stuff comes to over $10,000 a gear. You're getting it for $89.95. It's like getting the switch for free. They also have another bundle. This one's a little different with the Skaarhoj controller. Now, a lot of people can remember the bundles they were selling with the P200s and their own BirdDog controller. Well, those controllers they've moved on from, and the new controller that they're working with is the Skaarhoj. And if you know anything about our industry, you know that the Skaarhoj are top rated as controllers. This controller is optimized for BirdDog. It's got the blue pill inside. The savings are huge. Take a look at this. The 3 cameras normal and the Skaarhoj would normally cost you $11,622. You're getting it for under 10 grand. This is a tremendous promotion. We got a little video clip from a video that's going to tell you about how these puppies work so well together. So let's roll that clip.
Today, we'll integrate BirdDog PTZ cameras with Skaarhoj PTZ controllers. And with our new Blue Pill platform, this is really straightforward. But the new take on this is that we have a BirdDog optimized configuration ready for you. Today, our controller of choice is the PTZ Extreme. And PTZ Extreme is our flagship PTZ controller. It has a Hall effect joystick up here. It has a zoom rocker here. It has a focus wheel here and an iris knob. Those are all dedicated functions. There's also space for hand wrist over here and so on. So the ergonomics is really taken into account as well. It's also flexible, so you can map any type of camera onto these. And generally speaking, we have configurations where you have a camera selector on the lower row. Then you have a row of buttons for preset recall. That's mostly for PTZ cameras, right? And then we have menu buttons up here that allows you to change between different menus for each of the cameras. And then there are like auxiliary functions, like we can actually turn tally on and off over here, but that's mostly for demonstration. We can see we are connected, and we have a shift key here that sometimes give us access to additional features.
This is terrible. All right, so that was a little video on how those work together. And I know I already can see with some of the questions that are going to come. You're going to say, "Hey Gary, I want to get I want to get both. I want to get the Skaarhoj controller and the network switch." What we do? I can tell you that these bundles are pre-packed from BirdDog, so you can get the 3 cameras and the Skaarhoj controller, or the 3 cameras and the Netgear switch. But let's say you want a bigger Netgear switch, or you want the Netgear switch and the Skaarhoj. What I'm telling you to do is pick up the phone, give us a call at 800-323-2325. What is our 800 number? I just got it wrong. Can you bring it up? All right, 800-323-2325. Give us a call, and our sales reps are going to take the Skaarhoj bundle, and they're going to give a discount on the whole bundle when you add a Netgear switch to it, You can add any Netgear switch you want at that point. I don't know what the discount's going to be. You have to call the boys and find out what it is, or the girls at the on our phone line. But I'm going to say it's going to be a minimum of $100. Could be more depending on the switch you pick. So if you're looking for a bundle that has the Skaarhoj and the Netgear, give us a call. We'll take care of you. I apologize. Can't believe I drew a blank on my 800 number. That's just embarrassing, guys. All right, let's bring up Cameron from BirdDog. Cameron, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Gary. How are you?
All right, so Cameron, tell us what you do for BirdDog.
Yeah, so I'm our North American sales engineer. I'm here to help on the pre-sale side and make sure we get all the right equipment selected, make sure everything's properly working and ready to go.
Cool. So what do you think about those bundles?
I think they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I've been using Netgear switches with our cameras for 2 or 3 years now. I think they're kind of the best there is in the business. Having those built-in network profiles, I think, are super helpful, and I think that UI they have is absolutely fantastic, super user-friendly. So I think you can't beat it. And in terms of the Skaarhoj, I mean, it's one of the top-of-the-line controllers out there. So really, really good stuff.
Awesome. So I brought you in on the show now because we're going to get into a little bit of technical stuff. One of the things that's come out is BirdDog has a new update. It's called Silicon 2. And it's kind of weird because it's called Silicon 2, and we know chips are made of silicon, but it's actually a software, a firmware upgrade for the chips that are inside any BirdDog converter, like the Flex, like the Play, as well as any HD BirdDog PTZ camera. So let's talk about Silicon 2 and what's inside. First, let's talk about what it does for the Play 2.0.
Yeah, so Play 2.0 essentially is still the Play everyone knows and loves, with a kind of an update for cooling and heating. So we have a built-in fan now, a little bit more airflow for that converter, and then it's also Cloud Connect compatible. So essentially this works now like an endpoint. You don't have to have essentially a computer on site. You can send things from Cloud Connect groups directly to any of your plays around your facility. So it kind of cleans up the workflow a little bit, makes content distribution even easier than it ever before.
Cool. The latest version of Plays now have a cooling fan built into them, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Next, 4K Convert NDI5 update. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our Pro converters now will fully support NDI5. So 4K 60 all the way up and down, encode or decode. This applies to your 4K HDMI, 4K SDI, 4K quads, and our OG4, which is for the Ross Open Gear system. An absolutely fantastic converter. So that's 4 channels of SDI in or out. So what this update does for these is not only do you get that full 4K 60 capability, you get an NDI5 Bird UI. So if you're familiar with any of our cameras, that web interface is going to be about the same layout now. Very, very friendly to use and operate. Awesome. And then finally, the last big update that comes with it is updating through Fleet Manager. So Fleet Manager is a new software we have out. Essentially makes it easier for updating firmware on your existing devices. So in the past, updating firmware was kind of a hassle where you'd have to go into every single user interface, select your firmware, and update through there. Now with Fleet Manager, you can update through one piece of software, 5 different converters at a time, just with the click of a button. So not looking for all these different IP addresses and diving into a bunch of interfaces. It's all from one easy platform to use.
Cool. Now, what I love about this is this update is available for all legacy products as well. So if you've got a BirdDog HD camera, a 4K Pro converter, or a 4K camera support coming soon. So the current release doesn't have for the 4K guys, but you'll be there. What I think is the coolest thing about this is I'm getting everything. Before, everyone knew BirdDog as the full NDI company, but now you're the all NDI company. That means full NDI, HX2, and HX3 supported by all devices across the board on the BirdDog line. Well done, guys. I love that. Your product just keeps getting better over time.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I think full NDI is an absolutely fantastic tool to have, and I think there's use cases where it is the best fit. But having that flexibility to go a little lower bandwidth, I mean, HX3 at this point, the quality is so high, you're not really losing anything out. It's a little higher latency, but you're not really going to suffer from that in 90% of your applications. And then also from the decoding side, the Play up until now was the only thing that supported decoding for HX. So now having all that flexibility, having that supported in our Pro line is a really big feature, and I'm really proud to bring that to everyone. And then similar to the Play, we're now integrating Cloud Connect as well. So we're very proud of our cloud software. We'll talk about it more, I think, in a minute. But having the flexibility to use that without always having a massive endpoint, a computer on site, really just makes everything a little bit easier and a little more user-friendly.
So to simplify this in terms anyone can understand, basically all BirdDog devices that have the Silicon 2 on it can now be used as a Cloud Connect endpoint. Be for ingest or outgest, doesn't matter. It's an endpoint of the cloud. You don't need the assistance of a laptop or a big computer to get there.
Correct. It's making everything a little cleaner, less channels to go through, so you're not forced to have computers on every end when using cloud.
Now, Cameron, I don't want you to go through the process, but a little tech tip here. On some people with some devices with some levels of firmware, they may have a few steps to go to get here. So I want to make sure everyone reads the README that comes with the firmware to figure out what they have and what order they come in, because you may actually have to go backwards to go forward with some stuff or put a middle step in. We're going to be coming out with some videos, Cameron, right, to walk people through some of that stuff. But if you run into trouble with it, give us a call, and we'll either walk you through it if we know how to do it, or we'll get Cameron on the phone and he'll help you, right? Because, Cameron, we just want people to have the best level of success, and we want them all on Silicon 2.
I completely agree. And yeah, so my contact information is always available. If you reach out to all you guys over there, you guys have my information, phone number, email. I'm always checking all my contact information. So always happy to help. Want to make sure we set everyone up for success.
Awesome. Now we're going to get into the BirdDog Cloud 10. And basically, there's a new version of your cloud. I don't really think it's the 10th version, but I like the number 10. It's round. People can understand it. But what I do really like is the 7 new features. So first of all, talk to us about the BirdDog Cloud and why it's so important for the future of video production, NDI, and BirdDog.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing more and more a need for hybrid productions, especially in like houses of worship and all these other scenarios where you want to have control and be able to monitor your sources on multiple locations from one kind of control hub. So having cloud, you can now operate your PTZ cameras, monitor them all with very low latency, all from home without having to have someone on location at all times. So hybrid productions have gotten a lot easier. The support we offer with that is absolutely fantastic. And having all the updates coming out, all the new features, just makes everything a little bit more friendly for everyone and a little more versatile.
Cool. Now, Cameron hit on something I think is real important. We're telling you that these are cloud products, but they're really designed for hybrid workflows. We understand that, yeah, the big companies, NBC, Sony, Universal, Disney, they could take everything to the cloud. They've got the money and they can pay those big bills to people like AWS and Google. But for the typical video production, whether you're education, school, or corporate, maybe you just need a little cloud to help you, a little bit of what we call REMI, remote operation. So when we're describing these tools, we're really focusing on a hybrid workflow where you're on premise, but you're using the cloud to get a little bit of extra features or remote control or a little combination of both. Right, Cameron?
That's absolutely correct.
All right, so we've got a list here of the features, and I'm going to read them all off, and then you're going to go through them each individually. I'm going to just stop talking, and you'll just tell me which one you want to go to. So we got Adobe Plugin, NDI Screen Capture KVM, AVI Transcoding, FFM Peg 6, ProRes Recording for Mac people, Cloud Connect Broadcast SRT Ingest, and Companion Module. So let's kick it off with the Adobe Plugin, which I just want to add is super cool.
Yes, absolutely. I think the Adobe Plugin is very, very, very interesting. So essentially what this does is it's for over-the-shoulder hybrid editing. So this brings in cloud directly into Premiere. This isn't opening another thing. This is directly connecting it into Adobe Premiere. It allows you to monitor timeline, see exactly what an editor is doing remotely. So it's very, very nice in terms of larger productions and that post-production process. So you're not just working on live streams anymore. You have that access to full post-production.
So I could be in LA and my producer, director, supervisor could be in Chicago or New York, and he could actually see me working in Adobe, giving me tips and tricks and comments in real time on what he wants done. Or if he just wants to see what I've done so far, I can play out for the timeline for him. And basically, he could be anywhere in the world, and it's as if he's sitting there right over my shoulder.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, from anywhere in the world, you have full access to that timeline. Very low latency. Again, everything with cloud is now, which we're very proud of. So yeah, you have that full monitorability.
So think about this, guys. Let's say you're editing something. You just want to get a quick social media clip out, but you got to have it approved by the director of marketing or your social media influencer person. You could just have them say, hey, does this look right? I mean, the person says, yeah, that looks right, but remember, we switched. We want that font in blue now, not in yellow. Or, hey, that looks great, but I don't think that person gave us clearance. Can we just blur their face a little bit, or can we clip this so they're not in the shot? It's such little technical things, but it can make the turnaround where something like this used to, maybe you had to wait weeks so that person could come into the office and what have you. Time is money, and you can turn around stuff so fast. And what I love that it's Adobe Premiere is, yeah, there are other applications, but everyone's got Adobe Premiere. If you use Photoshop, you've got Premiere, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I guess we're going, wait, what happened? Did I skip stuff?
There we.
What happened to all the other?
I think we have a video for Adobe. That's why we have its own slide. And then I can also just touch on two other of my favorite kind of parts of the new update.
Cool.
So one of my favorite things.
Well, let's play the video first.
Yeah, sure.
Which I forgot to do. All right, Cameron, that was the Adobe clip. I've got the list of the 7 features, and I'm told the green ones are the ones that you told us were your favorites. So talk about AVI transcoding a little bit.
Yeah, so AVI transcoding is just kind of the next step for like H.264, H.265. That's kind of the next evolution. So having that support in the cloud is absolutely great. One of my favorite things is the ProRes recording. You see that with Mac support. So something I've always kind of run into with NDI workflows is kind of having something recorded locally, and having that support has been a little bit of an issue going through in the past. Now with Cloud, this new Cloud 10 update, there's full ProRes recording support for Mac systems. So you get a very high-end recording, very high quality directly out of Cloud.
Cool. And what's companion mode? Talk about that.
Yeah, so companion module is great. In the past, you had to operate Cloud, dive into the web UI, go through all the controls in there. If you wanted to toggle on and off sources, you had to go into the web UI, go into your connections. So not a very difficult thing to do, but there was a few extra steps. Now with the companion module support, if you have a Stream Deck or anything that supports that companion, by the push of a button, you can toggle on and off your endpoints. You can toggle on and off your sources, send live, send them to different Cloud Connect groups. So it builds in the control of Cloud into a single piece of hardware. So you're not always struggling to get to a monitor, dig through all the different parts of the software. You can kind of customize it to your use cases, have everything lined up where you want it, and send live when you want to.
Cool. So I can map that to a Stream Deck, and then I can have one button shortcuts to get to certain things, which is very cool. The cloud stuff is super cool. I think what I'd like to do is get you on a future show where we could just really have you where you are. We'll be here. We'll use the cloud to show the cloud and really get some cool stuff going. So Cameron, thank you so much. Great show, great stuff. So much good stuff happening from BirdDog. We've got the Cloud 10. We've got, oh wait, cloud pricing. Before we go,
yes.
Bring this up full screen because they just changed the cloud pricing. So basically you have a free trial version with watermarking, but talk about what you get for the standard version for $149 a month.
Yeah, so in the past, when you've been purchasing BirdDog Cloud, you've kind of been paying for your endpoints. And we've kind of changed that now to make it a little more fit of how cloud is actually used. So now you're paying for how many live cloud connections you want at a time. So in our standard version, that's 3. In the premium, that's 10. And then if you have anything more than that, we want to hop on call and make sure we can get you sorted out properly. This applies to live connections, so anything that's being sent up and down. So anything you have lined up to go live, but you don't quite have it coming as an incoming connection in cloud, that's not going to count towards your live stream count. So it's whatever you're using in that moment.
So if I've got a PTZ camera that's remote and I want to bring it up to the cloud and then I want to bring it into my TriCaster, let's say, that's one connection. But if I want to bring it up to the cloud and then have the cloud do something to send it someplace else, that's 2 connections.
Correct.
Cool. And once again, we're going to have a future show on that, but if you have any questions about the cloud, give us a call. And the odds are, when you get into the whole cloud and the complexity, we're going to get stumped eventually or pretty soon, depending on how easy or hard your questions are. But what we'll do is we'll set up a follow-up call for you with us, with Cameron, to really go more heavily into the details. And if you've got a really big, really elaborate, complex thing to do, we'll help you hook up with a local reseller somewhere across the U.S. who can not only put this and explain it to you, but come in, install it, and train you on it too. So we got you covered, the BirdDog Cloud. Amazing. Great show, Cameron. Thank you so much. I want to remind everyone to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and take advantage of the great bundles we showed you earlier. And you know what? I'm going to run through the deck, and I know you guys hate when I do this, but I just got to stress both these. The first one, buy 3 P240 PTZ cameras, get a Netgear Switch, bundle price $89.95. You save over $1,000. Second one, BirdDog, get 3 of the cameras, get the Skaarhoj PTZ controller. Usually it would come to about $11,622. You're going to get it for under 10 grand, $99.95, save over $1,500. And if you decide that you want the controller and the Netgear, give us a call. Let us see what we can do for you to get you a discount furthermore by bundling it up. This is Gary at Videoguys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.